so happy you can be here again, or you chose to be here again. So I have been thinking last night about the layout of my sewing roll, the Hausfrau. I don't know why I'm trying to call it Hausfrau. It's a Hausfrau. Anyway, so I've been thinking about the layout of it. Sorry. And a few things have changed from what I initially thought I wanted it to be, but I really like the way it's coming together. I'm super excited about it and I can't wait to get it finished. So let me flip the camera around so you can see what I'm doing, and I'll show you what I came up with, okay? Hold on a second. Right, so here we are. This is the layout of my sewing roll. I have the little pouch down here that I made yesterday, and all my the bigger things like my measuring tape and the thread spools, you know, all these things, my thimbles, they can go in here since I am not going to be using this for my paper piecing. It's just going to be a sewing roll, so they can go in here because there is lots of room in that pouch, lots of room. So they're gonna go in here. I still have to deal with the closure. I'm not sure right now what that's gonna be, but we'll get that figured in a little bit. Here is my little needle book that I'm making for this piece. It will be sewn together up here and onto the backing up here, so they all will flip up this way. I figured 3 are enough: sewing needles, some pins, some sewing pins, and maybe some safety pins. I have made this little thing yesterday. It was an experiment. I wanted to see if I can make an origami box out of fabric. So I found some of my fabrics that hold creases really, really well, and went to work with an iron following the instructions of how to fold this origami box. And it turned out really well, actually. The last fold that keeps this all locked together with the paper didn't want to stay in fabric, so I simply put a little French knot in there on all those sides, and I kind of tied these things a little bit together because they wanted to gap a bit as well. But other than that, I think it turned out really well. I just need to figure out how to stiffen the inside of this box a little, maybe line it with something. I'm not sure yet, because I do want it to stay open, and it sort of does stay open, but I want it to stay like this. So I need to stiffen these sides a little with something. Wax, I'm not sure yet, needs some more experimentation. I might just make a paper one for now, just so I have something in here, because I really, really like this. So that's definitely going to happen in fabric if I can figure it out. I want it to be removable, so I'm thinking maybe a magnet. I have hook and loop tape, but I really don't want to have just this big, ugly, thing there. So I'm thinking if I sew a magnet under it and I put a magnet in here, or sew one on the underside of that, that should work and hold this, right? And then this was supposed to be a little pouch on its own over here so that I can stick thread spools in, but that has changed. It's going to be now a pouch like this. I have been racking my brain how to sew it actually to the backing, because I mean, there's more holes than anything, to sew to, and I didn't really want to just fold it over, because I mean, I don't know. I just don't like the look of that. And it's still not very secure in my eyes. I mean, if you do that, then you have to stitch over it a whole bunch of times, or use thick thread, or I'm not sure. At least, I just don't like it. So I figured out, if I put some more of this yellow ribbon, which I put here, over, like so, I can stitch it actually on 2 edges, and that would hold this for sure secure in. So that's what's going to happen. That's why this is there. Plus, I still have a little bit of this left, and it's not real velvet. It's like the plastic kind, and at least it's used up. I don't know. I think somebody gave it to me. I'm not sure. Anyway, This is the backing. Oh, hold on. Oh, I'm sorry. So at first I just wanted this vintage handkerchief in here for just some color. I'm sorry about that. But I was thinking it would be really nice to make it actually a pocket. So there's going to be another seam going across here to make this a pocket. And then the edges of that pocket are just going to be sewn here with, when I sew the whole thing together. So I have another pocket here for larger things. I want to actually carve a couple of flat thread bobbins for embroidery threads and things that I can put in here, so that, or even some of this thread to go on it to put in here, because I think that would look nice. And just, it's a space for it, and I don't have to put them in here. And then here I could put, I don't know, maybe patterns if I need a pattern, or other larger things like a crochet hook or a smaller pencil, something that needs a larger pocket than this, and isn't too bulky. I can put it in here. And then my scissors. I wanted to let this piece of fabric, because I really, really like this fabric, so I didn't want to cut it. So I was thinking I'm going to let it run onto the inside, and why not make it a pocket? So this is going to get lined as well. I don't have the lining in there yet, but this is going to get lined as well so that my scissors don't damage it. And I have this vintage mother of pearl button that's going to be sewn right here with a little shank. Maybe some beads or something under it to make it stick up. And then I can literally button my scissors in here so that they don't, fall out, because the button is is large enough to keep them in there if need be. So this is going to be the scissor pouch. And if you fold it up, let me fold it up really quickly. 1, 2, whoop, let's take this out. 3. So this is what it's going to look like folded up. And up front here, I want to round the edges, and then there's going to come some more of this velvet ribbon that's going to go around those edges to tie it all together. And I think the yellow really looks kind of nice. Let me just show you like this. I think the yellow looks really nice right there. So that's going to be my sewing pouch, hopefully soon. So let's get cracking. The first thing I'm going to do is put this in here so I won't lose it. Take all this off. There we go. And then put the lining behind this. So we take this off. Putting the lining in. Oops. Okay, this can go someplace else for now. And we are putting the lining in. I already centered it and measured it. This is where the 7 inches are right now. My pouch is going to be 6 inches at the end. So basically I'm not going to sew these. I only sew this edge right up here to, adhere it, because these are going to get sewn in with when I finish the pouch. And over here I need to put the backing on this purple. I need to sew it onto this, so I don't need to sew that right now. So what I'm gonna do is sew that upper edge. All right, here we are. And I already flipped over the edge right there, so it's nice, and it just looks nicer, and it's not gonna fray on top. Here, and I don't mind this little scalloped edge sticking over. I think it's kind of cute. There we go. Right. Oh. So the next step is going to be adding this whole thing to the backing of the sewing, to the inner backing, the inner lining, I mean. Oh, I pinned it. Adding this to this. Okay, I have also measured out 4-inch increments on this, so that I know where about the folds will be. Oh, I just dethreaded. Okay, no problem. Yeah, it's about 4 inches. I mean, it's not. But that way I also know where I want what to stop, if that makes sense. Oh, hold on. Let me fold this in half to find the center. Oh, maybe I should put all this out. I don't know. Yeah. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, it's a better crease. Right, so I was happily sewing along when my phone ran out of capacity and decided not to record the rest. Um, Clearly my brain is not braining today because there's a couple of other things. Let me show you. So I'm not sure when the phone stopped, so I'm just going to start. So let me take this off. I sewed all of that on, and if you noticed, you may see that it's now lower down than what I actually pinned earlier. And that's because I pinned it wrong the first time around, and I had it all sewn on, and then I noticed, oh wait, it needs to go further down. So I took it all back off and I sewed it all back on, and then I noticed that I had sewn these little ribbons too far out. I did not calculate in the seam allowance that I need, so I had to take it all back off and then move them in and sew it all back on. And so I've sewn this part now 3 times, but it is done. And then I said, let me just do something easy. Let me embroider the little needle book that I want to have in there. So I embroidered just the little lazy daisy stitches on there and some colonial knots just to have it sort of match what's in these little things. I wanted it to match these little things, so that's what I did. And somewhere there it stopped recording, so I'm really sorry you didn't see that, but there it is. It's going to go on here some other time, not right now, because after that was done I figured, hey, now that I know where the placement of these things are, I can put the pouch in. Well, you need to sew the pouch in on the bottom too. And in order to do that in a nice fashion, or, you know, in a way that doesn't look completely hedgehog like, you need to actually be able to open it completely up. So I opened up these side seams again, like you see here. I opened both of them up, and then I sewed just a line across here, and I already sewed this one shut again. Now I need to sew the other one shut. But then I noticed, because I did not open up this seam, I should have probably opened up this seam too, but I didn't, and I don't want to. So, but I noticed that when, because I had sewn up the top as well, hold on, come on. So I had sewn down a line across here too, but then I closed the I closed the pouch, and all of a sudden the top was crooked. And I sewed that seam now 4 times, and it's just, I mean, everything else works out. Everything else is nice and straight, and, you know, I don't know why the top goes crooked when I sew it on. And I'm really done for today. I need some tea and a cookie and just sit down somewhere and read something, I think, because no, brain is not braining. So I'm really sorry about the camera thing. I'm going to figure out what's wrong with this. I have to, because actually I was thinking about making this a pattern. I used to write knitting patterns, and I've written a few sewing patterns, and I was thinking it might be fun to have this as a pattern if one of you might want to, you know, do it. And obviously you can work along as I'm doing it here and learn from my mistakes, so watch all the videos first. But maybe some people like to have a pattern, you know, that they can look up, and so I was thinking about doing that in a digital file, and then you can, I'm going to put it up in the coffee shop. It's going to take a while because I need to finish this, then make another one, just to, for me to work out, you know, the steps that I need to put so that other people can understand it, and then I need to find some testers that will test my pattern after it's written and tell me if I'm making any sense or not. So it's gonna take a while, but I was thinking that might be a fun thing to do. Anyway, so here we are. This is how far we got, and I need a break. So I do the rest some other time. Love you all. Thanks for hanging out with me. Sorry about all these mishaps. See you later. Bye.